it's Amanda from Hinman Holistic Health Institute. Happy New Year! Welcome to 2016. I'm here today with my girls, two of my girls, and we're going to talk about what I learned from their new pet, Fancy Rat. I know, it sounds kind of crazy, right? But we have a new pet in our house. So Julia and Isabel have been dying for a pet of their own. I mean, we have a dog, but apparently they wanted something that was just theirs, that they could keep in their room and take care of. So for the last 6 months or so, they've been saving up money and working really hard and trying to figure it out. And finally, Mike and I said, you know what, if you can come up with 100% of the responsibility to take care of this pet, then you do the research, figure out what you want to have, and go for it. We'll kind of write up a contract and see what works for you. So, Julia, do you want to tell us a little bit about what you did and how we came up with a Fancy Rat?
Okay. So, our first decision was to get a cat, but those live a long time, up to 15 years, and are also kind of very expensive. And we wanted something that was kind, friendly, and playful, and a Fancy Rat is all of those. I know you may seem like no, but they actually are. And also, they live for only a couple of years, and they're much less expensive and don't require vet bills. So that's how we decided to get them.
Yeah, so as you can see, Julia did a ton of research. Isabel helped her as well, and they came up with this idea of having, who is this? What's her name?
Daisy.
Daisy is the new addition to the family. She's actually been really cute. I know it's kind of crazy to have a rat in our house, but so anyway, getting back to what Daisy has taught me, or reminded me, I guess I should say, about two of our girls. Author Sharon Heller has a great book called Too Loud, Too Bright, Too Fast, Too Tight, and how to help sensory defensive people in an overstimulating world. And I would highly recommend this book if you have a child that seems to have a high level of sensory intake from, their five senses, their sense of touch, smell, taste, sight, and feeling. And what I mean by high level of sensory, some people have a baseline level of sensory processing that is higher. These are usually identified as people that are called sensitive people. And other people have a low baseline level. And these are sometimes the people that are more adrenaline seeking. They actually look for stimming type of activities. So for example, someone with a high sensory baseline would usually be a person that is bothered by a tag in their shirt or the seam line of their socks, maybe uncomfortable clothing. They don't like when their music or their environment is too loud and too overstimulating. They can tend to get anxious or irritated and just kind of worried when the sensory processing level gets too high. Whereas if you have a low baseline, or if anyone comes too low in their sensory processing input, then the feelings that emerge are usually one of lethargy. You feel kind of like sluggish and don't want to get up and go. Even can lead to more of like inactivity and depression in worst case scenario. But for those individuals who have a low baseline, these are the same people that you may find chewing on a pen cap, or oral fixations, or tapping a knee or a foot, constant repetitive movement. All of these things are activities that actually stimulate a response of hormones, of adrenaline. So when we got I keep calling it a Fancy Rat. When we got Daisy, it totally reminded me of the differences of our girls. So Isabel, as you can see, loves holding Daisy and having her run all around. She is definitely like a low sensory individual just by instinct. I love it, and that's just what makes her unique, and that's her own special balance. But she loves to give you big bear hugs and to chew on her blanket the end of her blanket, and she's always looking for like kind of that extra little boost of stimulation. Whereas Julia, on the other hand, likes Daisy and has done a fantastic job of being responsible and taking care of her. She's the one that feeds her, that helps clean her cage the most, that did all the research to find out what kind of, responsibilities and costs and all the things that are associated with having a pet. But she is less as enthusiastic about always holding Daisy and having Daisy run around her body and kind of crawl around her. I mean, she does a little bit here and there, but you can see how their natural instinct of sensory input kind of dictates how they take care of a pet. So it's been a really interesting process for me to just reflect as a parent, because as a parent, there's different ways that I can help teach my kids how to balance their sensory load so that they can feel totally relaxed and confident and happy in whatever setting they're in, right? So anyway, follow up with some more great information, and thanks for checking in today. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.